Welcome to Conversation with a Cancer. This is season 2, episode 3. And once again, I come with a very special guest. This is someone I think I could say we basically known each other basically our whole life, something like that. Majority of our life. A lot of it, yeah. Like we used to play basketball in your front yard, me, you, and my cousin Phil. So I would like to introduce someone who is a very interesting, intelligent Black man, someone who's out here doing good in the world. I mean, like he's really doing good in the world. But we get into all of that. Jeno, say what up to the people.
What up? What up? How's everybody doing, man? I hope y'all feeling good today.
Right,
Tonight.
right. Yeah, tonight, because this is evening. So how are you doing?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. I don't really got any worries. I'm in the South. I ain't worried about no snow. I don't got no complaints, brother.
Man, listen, they said we might get 20 inches by Friday. That just hurts my feelings.
Oh, Lord.
I know you miss it a little bit. You don't miss white winters?
Nah, I can't say. You know, my biggest memory of winter is walking in the snow and my pants being wet up to my kneecaps. That's the first thing that comes to mind when I think about snow. Like I was outside in a t-shirt today.
Damn.
It was like 64.
I mean, it was like a 40-degree day, but you still saw all that snow, so you couldn't just do nothing nice with it, but
right,
you can move around a little freely. So, I mean, you in the South, I'm still up here in the Midwest, and we are in a pandemic. It don't seem to be going nowhere no time soon. So how have you and your family been doing with this pandemic?
I can't say we've been doing bad. It's definitely, I've learned a lot of things about myself during the pandemic. One, first and foremost, didn't have enough pajama pants. That was like, I got about 20-30 pair now. But when you in the house all day, every day, you need loungewear.
Right.
You need loungewear. But as far as like on a more serious note, like we've all been pretty safe, man. The boy's mom, she's a nurse. She had caught the COVID for a quick second, but she bounced back. So everybody's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, COVID hits people differently. So I mean, like as a nurse, I'm pretty sure she thought she was being as safe as possible and she got it. So I know that probably just drove her crazy, just trying to stay out the way and still got it.
Yeah, I imagine so.
So let's talk a little bit about the beginning. Like I said, we've known each other since we were really young kids, playing sports and things of that nature. But at some point in life, you made the decision to go into the service. And
correct.
I always think of the service as two-way, a choice or an option. Did you feel like that wasn't for you? Like it was your choice or that was your only option?
That's a really good question. Like you're really good at this.
A little bit.
Should have brought my notes. But to answer your question, obviously it was a choice. It wasn't like some go do this or go to jail. I wasn't in trouble or nothing like that. But as far as my internal feeling, I knew number one, I didn't want to go to college, and that's kind of, I guess I owe that to my cousin that's 2 years older than me, because he's 2 years older than me, so he was in college before me, and we used to go visit him, and we had a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie, we had a lot of fun, but I was also cognizant enough to look around and see that everybody around that's having fun is broke. Like bro just scrounged up change out his change cup to go to McDonald's. I don't want to be no broke college student. So I knew I didn't want to do that, but I knew I had to do something, which is how I landed in the service. It was like a way for me to instantly be on my own and somewhat successful.
I don't think of it like that. I never thought of it like a way to be on your own, because you are on your own. You don't have none of your family around you. They got you somewhere you probably never been in the world, and you training all the time. And but I definitely was broke in college. My homies was definitely broke in college. The girls that I was chasing was broke in college. So that's a true statement. Like it's very few people who come into college with money to move around the way they want to move around. So you are absolutely correct. So how long have you been in the service to this day?
18 years, 6 months.
Wow.
18 years, 6 months.
Wow.
Yep.
So you are
another 6 months.
Another
Go
6
ahead.
months? No, what you about to say? In another 6 months?
Yeah, in another 6 months, I can actually submit my retirement packet. I'm actually about to retire in 18 months.
Man, that's beautiful to hear. That was what I was getting ready to ask, because
man.
I know a couple other people, or some people like, no, I do my 4 years, I'm out. Maybe I'll do 8. You and one other person is the only people I know that stayed in it till you can retire.
And look, I'm not going to say never, but initially, that first 4 or 5 year enlistment, I wasn't the one to say, I'm going to do this forever. I got to about year 12 and I was like, I wanted to get out, honestly. Like I joined the Army to figure out what I wanted to do as an adult. And it took me 12 years to figure that out. But by the time I figured that out, I was past the halfway point. It took a lot of people to convince me, like, you almost to the finish line where you're going to get a check for the rest of your life. Like, crunch these numbers before you make a decision. And it took a lot of convincing. So I stayed. That was year 12. I'm obviously at 18 now. So I obviously stayed. And it was tough when you mentally check out, but it was a good decision.
So have you ever thought about what you would have been doing if you'd have left after that year 12?
So honestly, at year 12, I wanted to go do something I enjoy. Like I think in my mind, I was going to go into like education and either be a guidance counselor. The goal was to be in the school system and to coach kids basketball. That was the goal. Like after 12 years of service, VA is going to owe me some kind of check because the Army beat my body up. I was going to take that check. I was going to do a troops to teachers program where they want people with military experience to be teachers because they see us as well-rounded individuals that can relate to students from all walks of life. And I was going to do that program and go into education and volunteer and coach middle school, high school basketball or something. That's what I was going to do.
Hey man, we love ball. Like that's something that's very common in us. I was
hooping this morning.
You was
and I ain't gonna forget when I was 11, you dunked on me on the 8-foot goal.
I don't remember that, but I probably did. I don't remember that. I have to ask, was Phil there? More than likely.
He was there.
Yeah, it was there. I don't remember that at all.
Because I always was a small kid. I'm like, man, Rob a bully, man.
Right. You and Phil were always smaller than me. Yeah, man. Like I haven't hooped in a long time. I shot a couple of weeks ago and it felt good to just shoot a basketball, but I can't imagine being in no game right now where I'm running up and down the court with somebody. But
yeah, I'm in pretty decent shape, man. I'm in this weird stage in my little hoop career where like if I hoop with people 25 and under, like I look like the old head that's just slow. But if I hoop with people my age, I look like a young cat. Like, how old are you? Like, I'm your age. I'm just in good shape.
Right. Because you said you do a lot of cardio. You still you still train. You still have to train people, correct?
Kind of. Me personally, like, yes, we're still supposed to train, but the Army beat me up, man. They don't require me to do a whole lot when it comes to cardio anymore. Like my knees bad, my ankles bad. I really just I stay in the gym hooping just to keep the weight off for real. Because when you start sitting still, the weight start coming on.
And that's a real thing for us. That's a real thing when you get of age and you're not doing anything active and you already like eating and you're eating your favorite foods. It's gonna compound on you really fast.
So I don't really be in there for of course I compete, I want to win, but I'll really be checking my watch, looking at my step count, like, okay, I'm at 10K. I can unlace now.
Hey, when I get to 10,000 steps, I'm like, man, I had a wonderful day because I'd have been moving. They don't know about the miles.
Look, I'm at 16K right now. 16K right now.
I had a slow day, man. I sat at my desk all day, so I only got 1,700, but usually I have about 8 or 9 or 10,000 steps. So I had a really bad day. But it is what it is. I'll make it up in the gym tomorrow. So let's talk about some other things, because when you're in the service and you see places. Now I know a couple of places you've been, like Bangkok and things of that nature. Or was it? It was Bangkok, right? You was in Bangkok before, right?
I was gonna let it ride, but no, I ain't never been there. I did South Korea 3 times.
South Korea, okay, my bad. My bad. I don't know why I equated that to Bangkok. I don't know why. But okay, so you was in South Korea 3 times. So like out of all the places you've seen and the things that you probably have seen, like, do you have favors or do you have things like, man, this is just not a place I ever want to be again?
That's a good question too, boy. You really be on it.
Amen.
Of course, I've been to combat, right? And that's
Right.
not somewhere that I want to be again. Like I don't want to be in Iraq again. But I feel like me as an individual, I'm a collection. Like my personality is a collection of all my experiences and places I've been. Like there's things and there's isms and stuff in Korea. Like for example, we wearing masks now because of COVID. When I was in Korea in 2004, they wore masks everywhere because it's densely populated and people don't want to get sick. In 2004, Koreans get on the train with the little masks like we wear now.
Really?
So there was just, yep.
I don't think I would have been able to comprehend that in 2004. Like I understand you saying you don't want to get sick, but like what's going on in the air to make you sick? Like,
yeah, they got times where dang, I forget what they call it, but they got times where the air quality is bad and they tell us like, you know, don't exercise heavy outside today, the air quality is bad. So they wear masks for that reason. And then a lot of places are densely populated. So when you got thousands of people getting on and off the train, and you know, some people probably getting on sick, you don't want to take that home and get sick either. So they wear masks and stuff everywhere. So I thought it was weird then. I'm like, they crazy over here.
Right.
And now it's 2022 and we crazy over here.
And they looking at us like if y'all just would have followed our lead, you know. So that's
right.
Wild. That's wild. That's wild.
So I like that experience. I've been all over the South. I like those experiences. I guess to fully answer your question, combat is where I don't want to go anymore. Everywhere else, I enjoyed the experience. Some places I like better than others, but combat, Iraq, Kuwait.
Bruh. I never forget when you were doing music back in the day, and that was one of the things you mentioned about being in the sand all the time. And I was like, woo, I don't want to go to the beach because of the sand. So I couldn't imagine being somewhere stationed and defending something in the sand. Like I can't even fathom and eating those, what do they call? Oh my goodness, MREs,
meal ready to eat. So quick 2-minute story, right? Because you brought up the sand. So they have sandstorms when you're in the desert, and it's literally just wind blowing hard as fuck with sand in the wind. Like if you don't wear glasses or something, your eyes are going to get cut up from all the sand particles. So we finished the mission. We hungry, ready to eat. Sandstorm comes, blows all in our food. So now we eating food with sand in it because we just that hungry. Like I'm not about to throw it away because I don't know when I'm gonna get another meal.
Wow.
Now we just eating sandy food. Terrible.
Okay, so I gotta ask, do you remember what the meal was you were having?
I don't even remember, but I know it was gritty.
I can't even imagine just looking at my food like I gotta eat it, and it's got all this sand on it.
Right, like.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. So, okay, so I imagine as you're going to these different places, seeing these different things, you start seeing a lot of different type of fashion than we saw over here. You start seeing a lot of different cultures and how they dress and how they move. At some point in your mind, I'm pretty sure you was like, hey, I like that. I like what that person's wearing. I like how that person's wearing that. Like, do you think that might have been I don't want to say the beginning, but the brainstorm to where you at now in your fashion sense?
I think the places I've been has something to do with it. I wish I was prepared for that question because I don't want to walk away, but there's actually things that I've done because I've seen like in Korea specifically. So in Korea, workers wear these vests. They're like netted, like fishing looking vests. They got a bunch of pockets and stuff, right. But all the taxi cab drivers wear them. Construction workers wear them. Anybody who's in like any kind of service to the people, they wear them. And I started wearing them. mind you, these vests aren't like, it ain't like something super expensive. I think they're like 3 or 4,000 won, which is just like $3 or $4. So I got a bunch of them, started wearing them. People see me wearing them. Now they want them too. Where you get that from? Like, man, this is just the vest the taxi cab drivers wear. And then I took it to another level years later, and I started putting patches on them. So that's an ode to like things that I've seen in little pieces of fashion. But I really feel it started like even as a teenager, as a kid. I was more artsy, more into like mixed media art, painting, drawing, etc. And then later on, I was into like all the latest fashions, platinum FUBU and all that crazy stuff. and then I joined the Army, and I spent a lot of time in the South. Like my very first assignment of length was Huntsville, Alabama. So I'm a kid from the Midwest in Huntsville, Alabama, dressing like I'm from Columbus, Ohio, and Huntsville, Alabama, because they dress way different. And everybody's like, where are you from? Because you on something else. You got Timbs and shorts. But I embraced that. I like that. I like that feeling like I'm not like y'all. And then I just kept that going. Where like, just from that point on, I always wanted something like, I wanted to do something like everybody can't get. I want to do something that only I can do. If I got to customize it, if I just got to get it from a special place, that's what I started getting into that. And then so from that point to the first Korea, where I told you I started doing the taxi cab vest. And then Korea is also a place where they got a lot of tailors and seamstress, and like if you can think it, Koreans can make it. So I started coming up with my little sketchbook and designs and start having to make me jackets and different stuff, jerseys, custom jerseys. To where I rock a jersey, feel like that, somebody like, that's hard. Like, yeah, but IG might not gonna give you this pattern because I told her don't make it for nobody else. You got to come up there with me.
Right. So it sounds like you were influenced and you started seeing things you like and incorporating your own. So that leads me to my next question. When did fashion become your hobby? Because at some point you, like you said, you started sketching. So when did you like make it, well, not a definitive day, but like you knew like, hey, I am going to be making clothes for me to wear. Not so much to sell, but just so I can be fly in the things that I like.
That would probably be the start would probably be the first Korea tour, 2004, 2005, where I actually had access to somebody who could make the things I think in my mind come to life. I had a lot of custom jackets made. I had custom jerseys made, and it was all about, Korea was very much about when you go out, just having something original, being original. But I took it a step further to where like, so everybody in the Army and service is from different places, right? Koreans had this one little set pattern where they would make you a coat, excuse me, and like, you from Texas, so you'll get the outline of Texas on the back, Texas boy, with your area code.
Okay.
And then somebody see that, be like, well, I'm from North Carolina, so I want North Carolina on the back with my area code. And I seen that and I was like, I'm not gonna do none of that. I'm gonna put a big Buckeye leaf on the front and just leave it like that. And they're like, dang, that jacket is fly. Where you buy that? Like, I just had to made it. Like, y'all just didn't have the creativity to think outside the box.
They just wanted what everybody else had.
Right. And I forget that Korean lady's name. I want to say it was Miss Kim. I believe it was Miss Kim, but she used to get so frustrated when she seen me come in because she knew I was coming in to do something that she has not done before.
Right. But I probably made her 10 times better. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how can I ask this? Do you think that the stuff that you made, she still got? You think like she knows those patterns somewhere? Like she got them written down somewhere, maybe?
I know for certain she has one, because I told you I did Korea 3 times. So 04, 05, and then I went back 12, 13, and I was walking the Ville. They call it the Ville. The Ville is short for village, but it's really not a village. It's more like a outdoor shopping plaza.
Gotcha.
So I'm walking the Ville, and I had a jacket on, and I see her in the store. So I went in the store and I'm like, do you remember years ago you made me this jacket? And she's like, oh, I do remember. And she pulled the pattern out. Like, oh
Oh.
snap.
Hey, she probably just sold that pattern to so many people, man. So you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So have you ever put any clothes together yourself, or have you just sat at a sewing machine, I should say?
Yeah. Super terrible at it. Just putting that out there. Super terrible at going from material to fully, pants, shirt, whatever. Probably because I haven't practiced enough, and I haven't taken enough time. So I got more into customizing, to where I take something already made, and I'm good enough to where I can cut the seams out and add some stuff and do different stuff. I'm good enough on the sewing machine where I can do that, but I wouldn't sell anybody anything. I went from material to now you got a bubble coat.
Okay. So you have a brand. I own some of your a hoodie of your brand. I don't own enough stuff, but that's the conversation for off air. But I like your stuff. And I remember when I first saw your website, I was more in shock and amazement that you had so much stuff. And I remember you told me, you said, whenever I drop, I usually sell out. So I'm just thinking like, okay, you just tell me that because you want me to buy something today. So I remember your next drop was coming up, and I went on your site and I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna get this one. So I put my phone down. I never told you this. I put my phone down and I went and did something in another room, and I came back to sit down to buy it, and it was gone. Like, it was gone. That's how I got the hoodie that I have, because I had to ask you, because I was like, oh, he wasn't playing. Like, dog, it was literally within a 15-minute span. And you drop yours, if I recall, it's like at midnight or something like that, right? Or
yeah, I was dropping at midnight, just for the people who was like real supporters. They'd stay up and they had a best chance, versus people who were just casually going to pick something up.
Right. And so I was casual, and my casual ass missed out on something. So I was like, oh, this is real. Like, he's got a following, he's got nice designs. Like, and you had hoodies, shirts, shorts. I don't think you had the joggers at the time. Maybe you had. I'm not sure.
No.
You didn't have them at the time? So
I don't think I had them at the time.
So I was like, wow. And then you have various and variety of designs. So like, in my mind, this is not somebody who's like something. This is somebody who has a brand that he's building. So explain to the people what EPIKK is. Like, how did you come up with the name? Like, what does the name mean to you? And like, what is your goals with this brand?
Okay, so for starters, the name EPIKK, the meaning is the Webster definition, remarkable, legendary, amazing. That's the Webster definition. So that's what I'm trying to encompass with my brand. The spelling, EPIKK, my first name, Eugene, E. Mm-hmm. Pi, like math, 3.14, but we're just gonna go ahead and call that 3. And then KK, my two sons' names, KO, Cohen. There's 3 of us. EKK, Pi, 3, EPIKK. I think this is the first time I've actually explained that. This is like some exclusive content, because I normally just tell people, it's just a stylized spelling of the Webster word, EPIKK. But what I'm trying to accomplish with the brand, right? I told you when I first got started that I was really into like custom pieces. Like, I don't want to pick up a shirt and see 200 people with the same shirt. So the goal is to give people like one of one unique designs, but in the market that competes with the designs that are like hundreds. Like, you buy, I don't want to say a specific company or name, but you go to any retail store, they got 200 of these shirts, all sizes. I want the price point to compete with that same shirt, but be unique, one of one.
Oh, wow. Okay. So
because normally when I was going to say, when you're talking about custom market, right, you're talking about celebrities spending thousands of dollars to get this one thing for them. Like, I'm trying to bring that same type of uniqueness to the regular consumer market.
Well, first of all, that's dope. Like I don't even think I've ever thought of anything like that. I'm gonna make a one-on-one, but it's gonna compete, but it's gonna be almost on a everyday level of things that you can just go into a store and buy. I would have never thought of that. Like that's actually kind of genius. Like I kind of wish I didn't have you say that out loud. Like that's really smart, because some people steal shit every day, but that's really kind of like on a genius, because if you think about it, now what you're doing, because I'm pretty sure other people do it, but now what you're doing is you're making your stuff really exclusive. And when you're really exclusive,
right,
sometimes people don't even want you to drop it. Like, hey, I'm going to buy it from you. You don't even have to put it out. And then you have that market of people who's talking about word of mouth of your brand. So that's dope. And the spelling, like, yeah, you never told me that's why I spell epic. Like, that's really dope, man. I never known. I thought it always has something to do with your son, but I didn't know for sure. But that's actually pretty dope.
Yeah, man. I've created this weird space, right, where it's kind of difficult for me to develop following, right? Because considering everything is unique, nobody wants to share anything until after they get what they was looking for. And then it's like, okay, well, now I'll share. So it's kind of difficult. I'm in a space where it's difficult to kind of expand the following. But I feel like once it catches fire, like I obviously I'm following through with it. I felt like it's a dope concept to give people, one of a kind designs that compete with the regular consumer market.
Right.
Because so hopefully, we do big things.
Listen, epic. Man, I already think you big, like in my mind, because I've been on a lot of people's websites where they make things or they're selling things. They didn't have half of the variety you have. They didn't have half of the idea you had to match that up with your shoe or match that up with a hat. Like, you are thinking of, I don't want you to buy something and worry about what you should wear it with. Let me show you what I think it looks best with. And if you have something similar, you just pair it just like that. Like, I think you so far ahead, like I don't know the ins and out of how to make clothes and sell them, but I do know the idea of like what's important to people when they're looking at fashion, because you're basically giving people a mannequin on your website without it being on a mannequin. Because if you think about it, going to a store, right, you see a mannequin with a shirt on and a hat, and the person be like, all right, I want that. You know what I'm saying? But you're not telling the person to match it to what you have. I mean, where exactly what you're showing them, but you don't like this yellow with this brown, this orange with this green. You know what I'm saying? Switch your shoelaces up. Like, right. So I already think like you on your way. Like, I think you just one TV appearance away. Like, I think you.
Well, hopefully.
Because like I said, like.
And hopefully after I retire. Go ahead.
I was going to say, like, once people, watch the video of this, they'll see, man. And like, even still, like, I just feel like sometimes people don't you know how we are when we come to buying black. Let's just put it like that. Like, there's been some good and some bad. I done have some bad experience, and you and one other black clothing company is the only black clothing companies that I buy from. So it's really hard to find a black clothing company you can trust that'll deliver, has quality customer service. So you know how that be.
Yeah, in the small business market, man, I really hold true to, customer service and making sure people get their product. Like, that's the biggest. Like, I got a couple friends. They're friends. I got a couple friends and a couple colleagues who they do business a little differently than me, because they don't want to front the money to make the initial investment and do what we call drop shipping. So they don't actually have the product on hand. They own the product, but it gets shipped from somewhere else, either overseas or what have you. But when you do that process, the customer pays their money and they don't see their product for like 2-3 weeks. I took personal ownership of my product to where I actually front the money and I get all of my product. I have it here in my house. So when somebody orders online, I go put it in the mail and they get their product in like 2 days.
I am someone who hates overseas shipping, and I hate it for the reason that you just explained, because you have to wait. And also, I can understand if you're a large company, like you're like Nike or something like that, Tommy Hilfiger, stuff that's not traditionally made in America, but it's, it'll get shipped to America so they can ship it out to you faster. Like, I
Right.
just never understand. I understand the cost of the material, and it can be made cheaper over there, save you money, but I'm not a fan of overseas shipping. Like, back in the eBay days, I used to buy stuff off of there, and it's to come from China. I order it in March and get here in April. I hated that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan either. I understand, like, because I'm in this space and in this market, I understand as a small business owner, you don't want to take a loss, but I mean, without risk, there's no reward. So drop shipping from overseas is a way you don't take a loss. You wait till the customer buys it, you got your money, and then they'll ship it from overseas to them. That shit just gonna take forever.
I don't like that.
So
Never did.
And the way I conduct, I've taken losses. Like, there's been designs that I put out that it just didn't hit as well as I thought it was going to hit. And for some reason, maybe you can explain this to me while I'm here on the podcast. When I drop hoodies, sweatshirts, sell like hotcakes, but people do not like buying t-shirts. Like, what is, like, I know you need them. It gets hot outside.
So here's my philosophy on t-shirts. I'm a t-shirt junkie. Like, in my room, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have a black plastic 6 shelf that stands against the wall. Nothing but t-shirts. Well, the bottom shelf is socks, but 5 shelves of t-shirts, because I go to the gym. And like I said, when I come home from the gym, I got to shower, so I got to throw something on quick just because I got to go out. And I'm a big hoodie wearer. I'm a jacket wearer. I'm a hoodie wearer. I'm a button up wearer. So you need a shirt under it. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's my t-shirts can't be expensive. Like, I can't spend $20 on one t-shirt when I can get a pack for like 4 for like 16 or something like that. But however, my favorite clothing brand is LRG. If I want a quality good LRG shirt, I'm going to be spending $16 to $20 on one shirt. So I'm running towards it because that's where it's going. So for me, if I'm going to spend something on a t-shirt, I think it just has to be one I really like, one that I can instantly put on. Like, and since I work out 6 days a week, I always want t-shirts that fit me tightly too. So now I'm real conscious of the shirts that I buy. So that's just me personally. But I'm a big t-shirt wearer. I never not wear a t-shirt. I love t-shirts. Give me a t-shirt every day.
Like, hoodie season is always real good. Like, I'm not going to try it, but I feel like I could put out some BS in hoodie season and it's going to disappear. I'm not going to try it, but I just feel like, man, but when summertime come around, t-shirts just don't sell the same. I'm like, man, I haven't figured this out. I need to figure this equation out.
You might have to do it like big chains do it. Like, they do their t-shirt sale in like December and January, because now people buying them in bulk. So when the spring to summer come around, they got all their t-shirts they want. That's
a good idea. Yeah.
People who wait till May, June, July, most of the people got their t-shirts. So now they looking for tank tops. Let me go ahead and buy this tank top. Tank tops, you can get them real cheap nowadays. So I don't know. That's just a suggestion.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I typically shop off season because if I'm shopping, I don't need to shop because I got a lot of stuff, but I typically shop off season because that's how you get the best sales.
So you're saying you need more closet space? Is that what you're saying?
No, I gotta, I didn't converted a whole room into a closet / shoe room.
Oh, okay. I'm not close to you in the shoe game though, but I got about 20 pairs. I'm coming up there.
And then I just purged, like, so I've been designing stuff where I told you 04 is when I started. I've been designing stuff since then. I actually just purged a bunch of stuff out of my closet, like custom one-on-one stuff. I made a post on Facebook, like, hey, whoever wants anything, hit me up, pay shipping, I'll send it to you. And I just gave away a bunch of like one-on-one designs. I probably only wore like 2-3 times.
Wow. Hey, that's a beautiful thing. Sometimes you got to give things away. So, the podcast is called Conversation with a Cancer, and I'm a Cancer. And I always ask my guests at some point in my podcast, what is your experience with a Cancer, man or woman, child or baby, girl or boy?
Well, this is an excellent question because I too am a Cancer.
Right.
The very last day, 22 July. I will say this. I want to put this out there for anybody listening, right? Cancers always get the rap of being emotional and sensitive. I will say that is true, but people always equate emotion to crying. That's where the falsehood comes. Emotional doesn't mean just crybaby. Emotional means they'll turn up on your ass too and get mad and like all the emotions. That's what emotional means. All of them. So don't just think, oh, they're a Cancer, they're gonna cry about it. Like, nah, they might fuck you up about it.
Big
It just depends on who you're dealing with at the time.
Yeah, as I on the journey of learning about Cancer, that's one thing people always say is you must be emotional. Like, okay, so what? Everybody's emotional. Is how you control your emotions.
Right.
But you ain't gonna never catch me crying. You know what I'm saying? So like,
I cry. I'll be watching the Disney Pixar films, and they always killing somebody's mom. Like, man,
not killing somebody's mom.
You know them Disney films. Somebody's parent is gonna die, and it's gonna be sad.
What was that movie that just came out? Soul, when he had died, he was trying to get his soul back.
Oh yeah, I'm like, this is terrible. Like,
bro,
this is for kids.
It almost got me, bro.
But I kind of danced around your question. You asked me about my experiences. I would tell you that some of my closest friends, man, are Cancers, and that's not. It's by accident, but I don't think it's by accident. Like, I think every Cancer that I've dealt with, like on a like friendship level, they're just really trustworthy, loyal. Like, they're gonna be there for you type people, like male or female. I don't think I've done with the Cancer that has just been shiesty or shady. I don't think I have.
I don't think so either. Because Phil, he's also a Cancer, and I don't think I know. Well, of course, I probably know a bad Cancer. I probably just can't think about it. But I've never had a bad deal in my adult life with a Cancer. I think like the Cancers I've known have always been kind of sort of similar, so we got along, and like you can just tell when they're in that space where, all right, let them do what they need to do. Let them breathe on their own. Like, let them have their space. So I can honestly agree with you on that. That's a big thing.
You brought up Yakuzo Phil. That's my best friend. Like, like we still talk to this day. Not as much. We've grown and living our own lives. But he had came through here on his way back from Florida. We went out and partied. Like, didn't miss a beat. It's crazy when you got friends for so long and like you'll go months without talking to him. Then you see him and it's like nothing changed. Like, that shit crazy.
Yeah, I was just with this past summer. We was in Columbus. We went to the outdoor mall and had food and was just chilling. And he I think he had told me about it later though. But I remember him telling me about it. I just thought in my head, like, I don't see y'all not being friends and like not being cool, not having a brotherhood at this point, because like, you don't have a reason not to. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Y'all fell out over something petty, but you in one state, he's here. So like, that's what I think.
I felt kind of bad. When I left for the Army, man, because I felt like me and Phil was close to where, like, you see him, they was like, where's Jeno? And then I left for the Army. It's like he kind of out there dolo now.
Right. But that's life. Like you said, you had to do what you thought was best for you. You didn't want to be broke in college, and Phil did the broken college thing. So, because our parents always told us whatever you want, you got to work. They never told us about going into the service or nothing like that. No, it was just work. You go to college, so that's a big thing. But yeah, man, he told me he had brought you like a little care package or something down there. I think he said something like that. Like he brought you some Buckeye stuff.
He sent me some brown stuff, some Buckeye stuff, and I was like a kid in the candy store, because it's easy to get Buckeye stuff. So I've lived in a lot of cities, right? Buckeyes are well traveled. You can get some Buckeye gear just about anywhere. Browns, on the other hand, you gotta know somebody to know somebody if you anywhere outside of Ohio, Indiana, Michigan.
Right. But you're right though. Like, I was in South Carolina once upon a time, but we were somewhere else. No, we was in Hilton Head, and we was in an NFL team. It was an NFL team store around. And I remember I didn't see no Browns gear. And I'm like, this is an NFL store where the Browns get. I wasn't gonna buy any, but I'm like, I ain't seen none. So like that was weird to me. But that's that stuff you're talking about. Like if you go to New York, you ain't gonna get no stuff. You might, like you said, might get some Buckeye stuff, but you ain't get no Brown stuff. So, but maybe now because OBJ was on the team, so him and Landry probably sell, and Chubb was pretty big, but you know. So
and look, nah, we got to flip the script. What made you start this podcast? Because you've been doing it for a minute now.
So
I never got this story. Have you told this story on air before?
I have, but I'll tell it to you. So I at one point in time when because I used to be in therapy. Well, let me not say not in therapy. I had a therapist, and as I'm just discovering myself and figuring out why I have these thoughts that I have and the things that I want to do for myself, and I used to always talk to him about a win, like I don't have any wins, like, and he'd be like, well, what's your definition of a win? And I was explaining to him like with this personal goal, and it would make me feel some type of way. So we started talking about my goals and whatnot. And I had told him I had quit writing because I used to be a paid ghostwriter. Like you didn't know my name was on the article, but I wrote it. And so I had quit, and I was very angry about it because I felt like I was being underpaid. And he was like, well, what else you want to do? I was like, well, I want to start a YouTube channel. So I used to do these videos. I stopped them last year where I would tell stories, like, because I think I'm a really great storyteller. And so women that I was
storyteller voice.
Hey, I hope they want to pay me for it because I got that quiet storm for real. But I was showing it to different women and stuff like that, and they were like, "You're such a Cancer. You're really emotional." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like, and that was my journey into learning that women saw me as a horoscope. Like when you become an adult, women see you for what they think you are, not who you really are. So I'm like, all right. So women just kept describing me as Cancer. Like it was like 4 different women in a row. And I'm not saying I was having sex with 4 different women. Don't be out here trying to put more bodies on my gun. What I'm saying is it was like 4 women in a row. So my best friend, she's a woman, and I had asked her about it. She was like, oh yeah, you're emotional and you're dramatic. I'm like, well, damn. So my very first guest was one of my really close friends, Nicole. And that was my whole point, just to learn from women while it's being recorded. And then I started getting kind of confident about talking to people. And so I was like, well, maybe I need to just make this an interview thing where I'm interviewing people, because it was just solely just to talk to women about me being a Cancer. And so that's how the podcast came about, me just having different conversation with women. And then I was like, well, maybe I need to record it. And so that's where I'm at.
That's dope. I like that. And then the podcast itself is somewhat therapeutic because I see a therapist now too. I've been doing it for years. I feel like it's great, and I feel like Black men need to talk about going to therapy more, because we're in a different age where the stigmatism of especially Black culture, ain't nothing wrong with you. Like stuff is wrong with me.
Yes, it is. See, and I'm pretty sure your parents will probably be similar to mine. Like sweep everything under the rug and pray about it. Jesus will take care of it. And that's just, I don't want to say Jesus don't take care of things. What I want to say is our parents needed therapy because they went through shit we don't have to go through. We go through racism from afar. They had to wake up and go outside to it. You can't even come over here and eat. You can't be in our school. So I think they have racism. They have so many problems that they need so much therapy. And then they had come home and their parents probably were angry all the time and not really in love, but just staying together because that's the thing you do. You didn't get divorced. So they probably.
Yeah, the rules were different.
Yeah.
The rules were different back then. Aside from therapy, I think one of the most therapeutic things that I've done in my adulthood is talk to my mom about those times, about growing up and like different things, and without going into a whole little mess about our personal discussions, she would just see things that I do with my kids, and she's like, "Man, I wish I knew to do that with you guys." Like, well, you only know what you know. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what you were taught from my grandparents. We just know a little differently now. That's all it is.
And that's really what it is. I told my sister like how I felt as what we were taught when we were growing up in our mom's house. Suppose when I got out on my own, no, I don't have those same thoughts my mom had, but I still have those teachings. But what I want to do in my life and how I raise my children is my choice. And that's just from life experience. And I do find myself talking and treating my daughter in similar fashions, like, oh man, that's what my mother would do. So one thing my mother always did for us, she always took us on vacation. We went places. That's how I got slimed on Nickelodeon, because my mother took me to Florida. Like,
and that was like every kid's dream. I
that
didn't get
was,
to live that dream as a kid. You got
bruh,
slimed.
I still email Nickelodeon to this day, hoping that they find that video so I can cry and show the world. Like, I know the time period, but I don't know the exact year. It has to be between 94 and 96, Universal Studios. But I can't, nobody ever replies to me. But I'm gonna know somebody one day that's gonna get me a reply. I'm gonna find that video and I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna be up here boo-hoo, an ugly cry, man. So like, but yeah, I definitely do think all Black people need therapy. All parents that were born in the 40, 50, 60s and raised us, they need therapy. And I think it's very important that you find something that is therapeutic. That's why I go to the gym 6 days a week. That's my therapy. My headphones on. I'm doing something for my body, and I'm not thinking about nothing else but this or my next song I'm gonna listen to. So like, that's my therapy. Like you said, you go hoop. I'm pretty sure your mind be free as a bird in there hooping.
Yep.
So I think it's very important that people find some type of therapy for themselves and stop being angry and not having anybody to talk to, because you can find somebody to talk to.
And in my old age, I would say maybe 10 years ago, my mind was really set on chasing money, right? Like, I got to get as much money as I can before, I'm old. Like, now I'm at a stage where not rich by any means, but I'm pretty comfortable. I can do anything I feel like doing for the most part. But my mind state now is chasing happiness. Like, and when you change your mind state to chasing happiness, like, life feels a lot different and it's a lot happier, for lack of a better word.
Right. I tell that to everybody, like, you either get paid a lot of money to do what you don't like, or you do what you love. But most importantly, is not sacrificing your happiness. Like, I'm a person where if I'm unhappy or I think I'm at my ceiling or somewhere, I'm looking to move. I'm looking to get out. Because once I become unhappy, no one's gonna feel good around me. I'll be closed off. I'll stop speaking. Like, I know me. I need to be happy all the time. My boss told me the other day, he said, you're really nice to people. And I know people love you. And I'm thinking in my head, like, I'm not nice to people. I'm just treating people how I want to be treated, because that's my happiness.
Right.
Why would I be disrespectful to you for no reason? Why would I not, do something that I don't want you to do to me? So like, I'm always looking for a way to keep my happiness first. You know what I'm saying? Like,
similar. Might be a cancer trait.
Right. Like, it is. Like, I do exactly what I want every day. I'm working the job I want to work. I'm going to the gym I want to go to. Only thing I don't do is I'm not driving the car I want. And I told myself, this is the year I get it. I'm going to get me an Infiniti SUV. Big boy. Other than that's
a nice truck too.
That's a nice truck. I don't know what sugar mama I need to find, but she better hurry up, because I need to give me one of them Infiniti joints, because them joints is nice. But I'm with you. I found how to be happy on a daily basis, and I don't lose it.
Yeah, and see, that's like, but once I changed that state of mind, that really opened my eyes to the world and a lot of doors as far as what could be. Like you said, you wanted your Infiniti truck. I actually, I got a dream retirement car that I want to get, but I still changed the mindset from, like, when I was a young soldier, I had a Jaguar. It got wrecked. Owned another Jaguar. I was real focused on looking like money. And it's like, why do I got this? Why am I spending this money on this depreciating asset when it's like, I really like this car, it just don't look like money? Like, why don't I just be happy and get what I like? Like, why am I trying to look like something for other people? It doesn't make sense.
That's a real thing, because especially in our community, we see a lot of music, a lot of entertainers, a lot of athletes that dress and look a certain way. And we think like, man, that's the goal. Like, once we grow up and we get old enough and we do what we want in our life, that's the natural progression. Like, that's where we got to go. And you don't. You could just be successful and happy and have what you want. Like, it's plenty of people out here with millions of dollars in the bank driving a minivan, driving a Prius.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I was watching Deborah Booker.
Like, the favorite vehicle I own is 20 years old. Like I love that truck. I will never get rid of it.
Ooh.
20 years old.
Listen, like people love 1994 Range Rovers. Like get what you love and take care of it. Take care of it and it'll be there for you. So like for me, once I get this Affinity truck, this gonna be my forever car. I'm gonna take care of that bitch. I'm gonna ride it to its 300,000 miles on that joint.
And then drop a new engine in it.
That's it. That's it, bro. Like that's the goal. Like I want to do that with my car I got now because I have an '08 Pontiac Touring that's an SUV, and that boy rides smooth, but it's got 200 miles on it, and I just like, man, no, I'm just gonna put my focus on get this Affinity. I like it, but it's just it's outdated.
I can hear in your voice that's not what you really want.
No, it's
put yourself
outdated.
in position to get what you really want. Because like my diesel, my 03 Excursion, it's 20 years old, but my Excursion got heated seats. Like it's got keyless entry. Like it was ahead of its time for that time frame. I just spent a lot of money making sure the engine was back right. But I love that car.
Right.
Like everybody like, why you don't just get something new? Because soldiers check. That's like how much money I make. That's public information. Like we know you got it. Like, yeah, but I love this car. You don't understand. I love this car. I know what I can afford.
It's public information, like a recording artist contract, huh?
Yeah, that is public information how much money I make. All you gotta do is know my rank and how long I've been in service, and you can Google it.
Man. So let me ask you another question about your brand. So at some point, people make the decision to be like, you know what? I need a storefront. I'm ready for that. Is that something that you desire, or you cool with the online?
So kind of both. Like it's kind of a weird space for me. It's something that I've talked about. I'm actually debating whether or not I want to say this to the world. So I got a friend that I was in the Army with, and his thing is sneaker reseller. He's a sneaker reseller, and he basically just does face to face. He doesn't have a brick and mortar like store. We talked about putting a brick and mortar store together where the sneakers are there and the clothing is there. That's something that we've discussed. But honestly, I don't feel like my following is big enough to spend the money to do the brick and mortar store. It's like, do I take the risk, put a storefront out, and hopefully that generates more following? Or do I wait till I got a bigger like social media presence and be like, okay, now we're going to a brick and mortar store? That's really like, it's kind of like, I told you it's hard to develop a bigger following when everything you do is one of a kind. Nobody wants to tell their friend until they get what they want.
That's interesting, because I was getting ready to say like you wouldn't be able to make one of a kind. You would have to make multiple of the same pieces, and then.
No, I wouldn't go that route.
You wouldn't.
Nope. The staple of EPIKK is one of a kind. That's why it sells out, right? See, okay. I'm giving too much game, but I'm gonna give the game. So as a small business company, right, no matter what you're selling, you're offering 100, 500 copies of whatever it is, shirts, beanies, whatever. As the consumer, when do I have to buy that? I can wait. I can get that at my leisure. There's a bunch of them. When it's only one, as a consumer, and you know it's only one, it's like, I don't even know if I really want it, but I'm about to get it right now because it's not going to be there later.
Right. Because the fear of losing out.
Right. It's almost like sneaker culture. New Jordans come out. People don't wait till next week when they come out because they know it's not going to be there.
Right.
You got to get it that day. It's the same concept.
Yeah. There's a couple of sneakers I want to get they're about to come back out with. So I feel you on that.
Yeah. February is actually I wasn't gonna say a big month for me because the holiday season, but February there's a couple of them. I'm checking the release dates. Like I need those playoff 12s, those ones Jordans hit the shot in.
I've never owned a pair of Jordans in my life. Never. My mom never bought it. I always wore Nikes though, so for me, when I see people buying Jordans, I just like, cool for you. Like I've never owned a pair, never had a pair, never had one on my foot, so.
Yeah. Honestly, it's really not that special. I just think the mystique of You know, because when I was a kid, there was some pairs that I had. Like I went through a couple. We went through a couple cycles, right? Like mom got downsized. We didn't have a lot of money at one point, but at one point we were good, and I used to get shoes. And at another point, it was like, damn, these are the shoes I gotta get now.
Mm.
And so there was a lot. So there was a lot of stuff from childhood. I feel like man, I gotta get those because I couldn't get those when I was a kid. And then I get them, and it's like I don't feel any kind of way, but I got them now.
So that brings me to a question then. Is there a shoe that you didn't get or a shoe that hasn't been re-released that you want?
I cleaned up this past holiday season, man. Like the cool gray 11s. Like I vividly remember being a teenager and the cool gray 11s hitting and seeing everybody with them, and I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. Like I wanted that shoe bad. And I ended up getting it this holiday season. It's cut a little differently. I don't really like the way they cut it when they re-released it, but I finally achieved that little mark. But you know, clothing and sneakers, that's kind of like a marriage. Like that stuff goes hand in hand. To be in tune with stuff that's fashionable, you got to be in tune with what people are wearing with it.
I agree with that. Like I wouldn't like something if I didn't. When I was younger, I wouldn't like something if I didn't see somebody else wearing it first. You know, like, oh,
that's interesting.
Right. You know, because think about it like this. When we were growing up and we first started listening to hip hop music and you started listening to Biggie, he was talking about Coogee. What the hell was Coogee to us? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When Iceberg first got big or Platinum Fubu, LL was wearing Fubu, you're like, wait a minute, I need me one of them jerseys with the big old 5 on it. Like, so that's what I'm saying. Like, we were very impressionable about who wore it. Nowadays, I can care less. I just like what I like, you know, so I would just buy what I like. But when I was younger, I was a big fan of Family Matters. So I remember me and my mom's at the store and I saw a sweater.
Me too.
I saw a sweater with Steve Urkel on it. I'm like, oh shit, I need that. That's Steve Urkel. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Right. But nowadays, I don't wear nothing with my favorite TV show or nothing on it because I can care less. But when you're younger and you see your favorite athlete wearing a hat to the backwards, guess what you're going to do? I got out my hat to the backwards. Chris Cross was wearing their jeans backwards. What was we doing like dumbasses? Wearing our jeans backwards. Like, so we were doing that dumb shit. So like, it's easy. We were, bro. We was doing that dumb shit. So like, I still don't know why the hell a person would wear their jeans backwards. Like now that I think about it, like you can't even put it on properly like that, but don't get me started. But that shit was dumb as hell. I was dumb as hell. So one thing I like to ask on this podcast, like everybody has goals. And so since you're thinking about a brick and mortar and you said you got a car that you love, do you have some goals that you feel like you need to obtain this year to have a happier year? Because I think that's important.
Yeah, I do. So I actually talked about this at the end of last year with a few of my friends. So I make quarterly goals, right? Because when you make a goal for the year, it doesn't resonate until October, November, like, and you probably don't have time to accomplish that goal. So my goals for the first quarter, right? I told you the Army don't require me to run too many places anymore. And I've been doing a lot of chilling during COVID. I'm trying to drop 20 pounds this first quarter of this year.
Okay.
I'm trying to drop 20 this first quarter this year. And my other goal was to move 200 pieces the first quarter of the year, 200 pieces of apparel this first quarter. Drop 20 pounds, move 200 pieces this first quarter. And then my other goal, is, you know, I'm close to that retirement mark. I told you August, I can submit my retirement paperwork. I need to start making appointments with my PCM, my provider, so I can get all my injuries and ailments documented, so my check look right when I retire.
Right.
Those are my 3 goals for this first quarter. Nothing too crazy. I think it's very obtainable, things that I can accomplish. And I haven't even thought about the next quarter yet, to be honest. I'm still trying to, this is almost midway through the first quarter of the year. Right. I'll probably start thinking about the next quarter at the beginning of March.
That's how
that's it.
So a couple of things. This is an ignorant question because I don't know. So like if you miss out on telling them all your injuries, you can't go back and document them and turn them in?
You can, but the difference is when I'm a uniform service member, I'm still important because yeah, I plan to retire, but they also need me to be as healthy as possible in case they want me to go somewhere and fight somebody's war. When you take the uniform off after you retire, you're not important. You're not that important no more. It's gonna be harder to get them appointments. It's gonna be harder to get seen. You might go live somewhere to where they want you to go to a specific hospital to be seen, and it's 4 hours away. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot easier to get all your documentation in line before you take the uniform off. But you can go back afterwards. I know people that go back. Shoot, I know, like my mom has a friend. My mom, mind you, it's like that means he an old man. He's still trying to
Right.
get his stuff together.
Wow.
Because he didn't have it all together.
That's crazy. So your sons, how do they feel about your clothes you make? Do they want to wear them, or do they just like the other name brands? Do you try to keep them mindful? Do you show them the business? I mean, like, how do your sons like it?
They're kind of indifferent, I would say. It's weird because it's like I'm very in tune with like how I look and what I put on when I'm doing something. My sons don't care as much, and I'm not gonna force them to care.
Right.
My oldest son, Kale, as long as it's clean, he'll put it on. He don't care if the shirt's red, the pants purple, one shoe is blue. Like he don't care about coordinating, matching. Right. Like I have to literally tell him, like, Kale, we going somewhere to look decent. Please look like somebody loves you. Coordinate your clothes, because I can't show up decked out. Then you know what I'm saying. And then my youngest son, all he care about is video games. Like they're not that in tune. They do have I have made stuff for them, and they have it. One of Kale's favorite shirts is a shirt that I made for him. So I don't know if he just likes the shirt or likes the fact that I made it, but they're not as in tune.
It's probably something they'll really gravitate to when they see it on TV on somebody else. Like, wait a minute, ain't that your stuff? Like, and that's when, you know, sometimes it hits people like that to see someone else wearing it beyond the normal people they see wearing it. So
right,
I can only imagine about that. So this, I'm gonna ask you one more question. I feel like at our older age, I'm gonna be 38 this year. How old you gonna be this year?
I'll be 37 this year.
You'll be 37 this year. Looking back, is this what you thought your life was gonna be when you got to this point? Like, because it's definitely not what I thought. I really envisioned a lot of other stuff that I didn't even work hard for. I just thought it would happen. Just young, dumb, and full of ambition.
Yeah, all of that. I didn't have the foresight for like 20 years later. Like I had the foresight for like the next 5 years. I was not 15, 18, 21. Like when I'm almost 40, this is where I'm going to be. Like I never had that foresight. I will say in hindsight though, based upon like where I came from and my upbringing, the neighborhood I grew up in, the people around me, especially according to people that I went to school with, because I wasn't a great student. I wasn't a great student because I wasn't intelligent. I just didn't like doing work.
I didn't apply myself either.
So based upon people that I grew up with, and they see me now, they're like, I did not see you being here right now. Like you didn't have a whole career, about to retire, started a business. Like the 15-year-old kid that I met that was skipping class and had to go to night school to graduate on time, I did not see this for you. And honestly, I didn't see it for myself either at that age. But I knew once I joined the service, like after I was in the service 2-3 years, I knew I knew I could do anything I want. I did have that feeling. Like anything that I wanted to do after I was in the service about 3-4 years, I had the inspiration to go do it.
Wow.
That's why I told you I was ready to get out. After it took me 12 years to figure out exactly where I wanted to be and what I wanted to do, but I was ready to get out after 12 years. And they was just like, check these numbers out real quick, because I'm about to retire, and this is what it's gonna look like. This is what my bank account gonna look like when I wake up every morning. Like, that's pretty decent just for waking up.
Right, right. Hey, that always can inspire you when you know what you're gonna have when you close your eyes and when you wake up.
Like, and then I'm 38. I can still go do something else and get that check on top of that.
Bruh, sky's gonna be the limit for you when you retire, because you can just focus all your energy into one thing, being great at that, and then move on to the next, you know.
But did you see yourself here? Did you have the foresight at 20 years old to be like, when I'm 40, this is where I'm gonna be?
When I was 20, I had already had my first child. So I still didn't know how to see things in front of me. I didn't know how to plan. I didn't know how to do anything. What I knew, this is gonna sound really ignorant and really chauvinistic. What I knew at the age of 20 was how to seduce women, how to get things from women, how to talk to women, how to have sex with women, like how to hang out with my homies. Like, but I didn't have it. I tell people all the time, I didn't know till I got to 30 what type of life I wanted to try to make for myself. That's when I knew, like, maybe I should try this writing. Maybe I should get into this things. Like,
everybody's on their own timeline. Like, people try to make a timeline for you where you're supposed to do this at this point, and at this point you're supposed to go buy this. Like, everybody got their own timeline.
Yeah, man. Because black people, you know, we have to be good. We have to be great. We can't be good. So for me, my parents always told me to work. So that's all I ever did was work. In my 20s, I went through a lot of not knowing what I want and just trying to figure it out. And so once I was like, all right, I need to be happy and I need to do what I want, I started doing it. It took me a while, but 30 was my light switch. That's when it turned on for me. Like, dun 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 dun.
I want to say about the same time as when I had switched, like, my mindset from, I told you I was chasing checks. Like, that's what I think about. That same time I was like, I need to be chasing happiness. Like, whatever money gonna come, but I need to live my life happily.
Yeah, man. Listen, I'm gonna tell you a real quick story. So when my daughter was like 2 or 3, I had got this job working at a student loan place, and I was still living with my mom because I didn't have the foresight to live on my own yet, but I was getting there. And so I remember my first check was like $1,100, $1,200. I ain't never seen $1,100, $1,200 like that. Like, I'm gonna get this every 2 weeks, and I just gotta buy my daughter some formula, some Pampers, and some clothes. Oh, this is cake. So my dumb ass bought like $250 pair of Dolce & Gabbana sunglasses. I'm buying like $80 jeans, man. Like, I got on the shoes I want. Like, I was doing good. So I was at this job for like 2 or 3 years. So at one point I had moved out. So I got my own apartment. I got the TV in there. You know, that's when you still had the fat back. I had one of them fat back joints. Like, I was like, man, this is what's up. Like, I'm just burning through it. And then it just all changed. Like, I didn't have that job no more. I had all this stuff that I bought. I'm like, man, I look like a dumbass. Like, I could have really been saving my money. But black families, in my family, I wasn't taught about like how to save your money, how to balance a checkbook, you know, things like that. So I struggled when I hit my first.
I wasn't taught either. But we all go through that young.
Right.
We went through that, buying all the latest and greatest. Like, oh my God, this pair of jeans is $250. I got $262 in my account.
Right.
I'm gonna go ahead and get them.
I'm gonna get it. I look good though. Like, what the hell am I doing? Some Dolce & Gabbana sunglasses on? Like, I look stupid. I had nowhere to go. I just had them on. I'm getting ready to go into church with my mother with some $250 sunglasses on. What? Like, I look stupid. But that's what I thought I needed. Like, I thought I was fly. Like, you know, and I wore them around my homies, and they didn't even notice. Like, the people you think that's gonna be like, oh, them fly. Like, they're like, oh, nigga, you was supposed to been over here. We been supposed to go mess with some bitches. Like, oh, you don't care about these sunglasses I got on. What about these $80 jeans? So yeah, man, life was funny like that.
But to segue that, because all those experiences is what helped develop EPIKK. That's helped develop, like, I really want to bring dope shit to the same market, to the same regular consumer market. Like, cause stuff ain't gotta cost $200-$300 to look cool.
It don't.
Like, I look cool as a bitch. This is a $35 hoodie.
Hey, I like that hoodie. I ain't even gonna cap.
And can't nobody else get one, so it's extra exclusive.
And that's when people try to raise the price, because they be like, well, if it's 40, I'll pay 70 to make sure nobody get it. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm with you, man. You about to do beautiful things, man. I'm telling you.
I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate sitting down. This is cool. I think I've done this is like my second podcast I've done. I like this. You real good at this. I like this format.
I appreciate it, man. Listen, I tried to get Phil to do one because he wants to do one. And I said, man, I will help you do it. And he just kept telling me like, I don't got time for it. I'm like, man, if you don't make time for it, you ain't gonna never have time for it. I kept telling him,
you ain't never gonna have time.
You never got time for it.
You're gonna make time for the things you want to do.
Facts. So I don't know. Maybe once he hear this or watch it, maybe he'll be like, all right, maybe it's time, because I know he got plenty of stories to tell, plenty of things he can share.
Hey, shout out
to Phil, man.
I've known Phil since I was like 5 years old, dog. Like,
man, damn, y'all known each other a long time.
Dog, we went to the same babysitter. My dad coached our basketball teams when we was little. Like, I know Phil forever. And it's funny because all three of us cancers. It's funny, right? Because like I won't talk to Phil for months. The NBA finals come around. He'll send me a text message. All it say is, damn. And I know he was talking about a dunk Bron just did. Like, it's just crazy. Like, ain't it crazy to just know your homies like that? Like, all it be like, damn, and be like, this nigga's talking about the dunk Bron did.
Yeah. And it be like that because not only do I know you, but we're enjoying the same things. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a mutual thing, man. Like I could go months without talking to him, and I'll send him a message and we'll be just talking like it's nothing. Like just having a conversation. But when you're an adult, life happens and you don't get to just talk bullshit and play video games every day.
But now I still do that. I get to play video games every day. That's why I love my job, man.
Bro, I have no desire to play video games no more. I don't know what happened in my life that I don't desire it.
Look, I was at one point where like I thought like, did I grow up? Because I don't want to do this no more. It just wasn't no game that was out that I felt like playing at the time. That's what had happened. I definitely don't desire to play the sports simulators like the Madden and the 2K. Like I won't do none of that anymore.
Like if I play a game, it's either gonna be GTA, wrestling, or 2K. Those are the only 3 games I will play.
Nah, first person shooters. That's the go-to. First person shooters or RPG. That's about all.
I tried to play your Halos and your Call of Duties. Those ain't for me. I get killed too easy. My 8-year-old nephew was like, come play with me. This nigga killed me like 30 times in 10 minutes. I'm like, man, I don't play this dumbass game. He building shit and jumping off of it and hit me like, bah, bah, bah. I'm like,
Uncle Rob sucked.
Right, he was. So I'm like, man, put Mortal Kombat on. I was whooping his ass with Liu Kang, hitting him with that bicycle kick. But yeah, man, I can't play him no more, man. I can't just sit there. Hopefully one day it comes back because I miss it.
Yeah, that's like I was there for about 2-3 years, and then I was doing a whole lot of things too, which probably was part of it. Like I was coaching kids basketball, trying to design clothes. Like I didn't really have time for it.
Look at us now, man. Adults doing what we want in our life. So man, I just want to tell you, man, congratulations, because you're getting ready to retire, man. I don't know if you
thank you, sir.
I hope that whenever you do retire, you throw a big party so I can come down, man, because I would love to come celebrate with you and yours.
So look, let's talk about it, right? Like I'm trying to lock it in by like March. That's probably one of my second quarter goals, right?
Okay.
Lock in what I'm doing, but I'm doing a destination vacation retirement party.
Woo!
I'm trying to lock it in early enough to where people got like a full 12 months to pay for it and go. But it isn't gonna be nothing like super like you have to be here at this time for dinner, and like everybody just come enjoy vacation. We probably have like 1-2 days where everybody that come together. We'll celebrate me retiring, and then like just come enjoy your vacation though.
Yeah, man, we need that. You need time away to get away from your everyday life or you'll go crazy. So hey man, sign me up. Yeah. I'm coming.
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure, because my cousin did a destination wedding, and the people, we went to Jamaica, but they said it was the biggest destination wedding they've ever seen. We were like 57 deep. They said prior to her wedding, the biggest one they seen was like 25. Like, and we were double that. And from talking to her about it, she was like, I think the biggest thing that made people come out more was the fact that I had the information out there for a full year. So like, it doesn't got to be a major expense when you can pay on something all year long.
Yeah. Me and my homies, we just did that.
So yeah, that's the plan. I'm gonna try to lock it in, because about around March, April next year, we're gonna be somewhere, either DR, we're gonna be on somebody's island.
Oh, bro, we go to the DR, I'm gonna wild out. I know they ready to see me over there. I'm gonna be over there cutting up. Call me Americano. But yeah, man, listen, I can't wait till one day I turn on the TV and see a one-on-one on somebody, man. Like, that's how much I really like your clothes. Like, when I first saw your website, it was on my IG, it was on my Twitter, it was in my group chats. Like, man, I told everybody, it was in my family chat. I'm like, yo, y'all remember Jeno? Like, so like, I think you are on your way, and whatever you do, you're gonna be successful, man. Like, I see it for you, man. Like, I really believe it. And I definitely need to cop some more stuff, man. So we're gonna have to talk about that.
Look, yeah. But when we hang up, I'll take care of you, brother. We're gonna make sure.
For sure.
You show up on the next podcast with some on.
Ooh, listen, bro, I need some stuff too, because my hoodie, I'm gonna put it on tomorrow when I go to the gym. So I'm ready. So yeah, man. Look, I appreciate you coming on and taking your time out, man. And I hope everything goes well in your next 6 months, man. And you just wake up one day and you just got the biggest smile on your face, because you just wake up with no job in mind besides being a father. You know what I'm saying? Just what y'all want for breakfast,
right?
To school, let me come home and do nothing for a day. So
look, my kids big now. They make me breakfast.
Oh, okay, big time, big time. Getting you some Honey Nut Cheerios in bed. I ain't mad at that. My 6-year-old can't do that. My oldest could, but my 6-year-old, I don't want her to make me nothing. It'd be nasty, but I'll pretend like I like it. I even go cap. She'll probably give me like some marshmallow peeps and some green grapes. Like, oh, I can't have this together, baby. I can't have this together. But she would take care of me about one of the two. So that's all that matters. But yeah, man, I appreciate it, man. I will let you know when it's come out, man. I'm gonna try to get this out on Friday. Stay on my deadline of noon on Friday. If not, I got it next Friday. But hey, man, I appreciate you, man. I got nothing but love for you and your family, man. Stay healthy, stay COVID free, man. And I just can't wait to see what other big things you do.
For sure. Love you, brother. Be
Love
good.
You too. All right.